Sorry I didn't get to make a video yesterday, but I had a pretty good reason. Hello, I'm Michael with Writer Sanctuary, and today I want to talk about the impact of depression on a freelance writer. Now, depression on a freelance writer can cause a myriad of problems, most of which will lead to a loss in productivity. And a loss of productivity means a loss of paycheck. And in reality, freelance writers aren't the only ones who suffer from a loss of productivity because of depression. In fact, anybody's career can be affected by it. Just about everyone has a tougher time when they're feeling lost, helpless, and alone. Being depressed makes it super difficult to stay on task. When your mind is filled with negative thoughts and emotions, it makes it really difficult to do the job, even when everything is laid out clearly in front of you. The underlying thoughts of what can bother you can still derail your attempts. For instance, you can sit slumped in your chair, staring at a blank screen, thinking about your situation when you should have been making a YouTube video. Depression will also influence the type of content you create. This is because being depressed greatly affects the way you think. And for many of us, it's really difficult to stay in a positive and professional headspace. I know there's some people out there who can separate their personal life from their professional life. However, the type of content created often reveals the mental state of the writer. Word choices, sentence structure, and overall tone of the content could reflect a negative aspect. And for our client, this kind of thing is bad. After all, positive content with an energetic flow performs better on a website as well as social media. So when you're writing for a client, you want to create anything that's 5 shades of emo. When you're overly depressed, it's easy to make wrong decisions. Of course, the decisions change from situation to situation. For example, being depressed when someone rejects you sometimes makes people bug that person even more. And from a professional standpoint, you could turn down opportunities and jobs that you normally wouldn't. You could even go so far as to show aggression towards certain clients. And this could damage relations and remove any aspect of word-of-mouth advertising. Part of this is because of how depression feeds into imposter syndrome. And this is the mindset when you feel like you're simply not good enough. And even though there's plenty evidence to support otherwise, imposter syndrome is quite real for a lot of writers, myself included. It takes an awful lot for me to accept a compliment of any kind from any one of my clients. And most of my clients give me praise on a regular basis. It's something I'm working on, and it's getting better, but it's really hard to accept that I'm a good writer for them. But, they're paying me for a reason. But anyway, now depression can damage your self-confidence. This often results in lost wages, opportunities, and having poor interactions with clients. Another way that depression really messes with a freelance writer is that many of us don't have the will to do what needs to be done. And this often creates a snowball effect throughout the entire day. For example, if you're depressed, you might not care about your workout plan or eating right. And for many of us, this affects you later on in how you feel physically, which can then perpetuate into feeling even more depressed. One thing goes wrong, and then another, and then another, and all you can do is focus on the negative. Things just seem to get worse and worse throughout the day no matter what you try. Instead of being able to see your way out of a hopeless situation, you dwell on the negative. You get lost in the feeling of hopelessness. And in reality, this does nothing more than make the underlying issue far worse than it was. So what can you do to combat depression? Unfortunately, everybody is different. What works for one may not work for another. For me, it depends on the day. Usually I can snap out of my depression by listening to high-energy, fast-paced music. Something else I do often is exercise. In fact, exercising is often a treatment for depression, and I found it to be greatly beneficial as a writer in a lot of different aspects. For one thing, fitness improves the way you think. That's scientifically proven. It only makes sense that it's something that improves the way you process information would also affect your emotions. For me, it's standing up in front of the Xbox Connect and sweating for 30 minutes. Something else you can try is spend time going over your accomplishments. Look at the positive reviews you get from clients. Read past appreciation emails from these people. Sometimes people need a little bit of an ego boost to make themselves feel better. There's nothing wrong with that. And for me, it works great to get my mind back on track. So when I get this feeling of hopelessness and that I suck, I look at all these people that have given me excellent reviews on TextBroker or look back on past emails from my current client, and it makes me feel good, makes me feel like I am doing what needs to be done, but I'm not completely wasting everybody's time. You need to take a few minutes and see the best parts of what makes you a good writer. But if you're in too deep of a depression, please seek help. You can call a variety of hotlines, and I'll leave a link to mentalhelp.net in the description down below. It's a great resource for people who can't seem to shake depression, hopelessness, or anxiety. Everybody needs help sometime. If it means helping you get back on track as a freelance writer, it's worth the free phone call. Not to mention the other negative aspects that come with depression. So I know today's video is probably not what you're looking for, but it's something I needed to get off my chest. I've had a really bad week. But if you find the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about freelance writing, text broker, or WordPress, hit the subscribe button. I try to create content every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, time permitting. Unless I epically crash like I did yesterday. That's going to do it for me today, and I'll hope to see you tomorrow.